Guys, welcome Muskie Road Rules podcast and Patreon. Guys, thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in. For all my Patreon members out there, I do really appreciate it. And it is after the first of the year, so Happy New Year, everybody. I'm glad to be coming to you now, and we've got a really cool thing, more than a thing, a really cool lineup of people coming up to start the year. It is show season. We're about a week ahead. Less than a week, actually, of before the Chicago Muskie Show. And we'll be getting ready to do that. Not only Chicago coming up, but we also have the Ohio Muskie Show that me and Tony Grant put on. It's going to be in Hilliard, Ohio at the McCoy Center like it is every year. The dates are going to be the 23rd, 4th, and 25th of January. So guys, a couple weeks. Hopefully you guys can make it. Again, the Hilliard facility. It's pretty cool. 2 rooms. If you guys have been there before, you know it's we have a nice little bar set up in there, and it's just a nice way to spend some time and look at muskie baits and hopefully buy some, because the people that show up there would really like you to buy some. And a nice way to spend a weekend. So check that out. You can go to Ohio Muskie with a Y, OhioMuskieShow.com, and make sure you check that out. On today's show, we have someone that hasn't been on the new format, but I'm sure every one of you guys know this guy. It's Doug Wegner from up here. Where are you at, Doug? Are you in Morrison?
No, I'm actually in Green Bay. I bought a house north of Green Bay back in June.
Oh, nice.
So I'm lucky enough to have 2 mortgage payments.
Oh, I love that. I had 3 at one time. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. So you're north of Green Bay. How far are you from the water?
I am about 9 minutes from 2 different boat launches. I'm in O'Connell now, is where I bought a house.
O'Connell. There you go.
In the middle of our walleye fishing and really close to some of our good muskie fishing.
Nice. I've not heard O'Connell on Dateline, so I think you're in a safe neighborhood. That's
yeah.
That's
10,000 people. It's pretty low key. There's nothing too sketchy going on in O'Connell.
Nice. So how long are you going to be there throughout the year versus your house in Morrison?
About half and half.
Half and half. Okay.
Half and half.
Okay. Well, that's that makes it nice. Do you do any ice fishing or anything?
I do a little bit of lake trout fishing. Normally I'm up in Canada right now because it opens January 1st, but I've been working on a website and a whole bunch of stuff in preparation for the Chicago Muskie Show, like the rest of the idiots in the muskie industry that we are been scrambling to try and get ready for this thing. So I pushed back my fishing, but I think after Chicago, I'm going to go up and maybe fish for a week or something.
Okay. Well, that'll be cool. Yeah. No, shows are here and they're coming up, and as always, it is. I'm never ready, never prepared. It's just, you know what? Let's see what happens.
It just happens. That's part of it.
It just happens regardless if I want it to or not.
Yep.
So that's it. Well, Doug, let's talk about 2025 season.
Yeah.
I know I kind of mentioned to you in the, before we got on here, let's talk maybe 3 or 4 baits that you really liked last year. And let's go over maybe the who, what, when, and why. And what does your season entail, Doug? How, kind of go through your season here with the people that don't know you.
Yeah. So, I'm a multi-species guide. Muskies are definitely my favorite and what I spend the majority of my time doing, but I start guiding in the middle of March for walleyes and do a little bit of bass fishing. And then we get on to our muskie opener here in northern Wisconsin is Memorial Day weekend, so the end of May. Mm-hmm. So I'm normally here in Green Bay for about first 2 weeks, and then I go up to Canada for the Canadian opener, 3rd Saturday in June, and then hang out up there till about the middle of August, and then come back to Green Bay for about a month, and then go back to Canada somewhere like beginning of October and stay till it freezes.
Gotcha. Well, that's yeah, I know the travel scheduling very well. I've been doing it a long time, and it is something that can be rewarding and can be fun, but it can be awful tiring as well too. Doing the driving all over. Look at these headphones; they're not even straight on my head. They are not. I look. Oh my God!
You just rolled
No,
out of bed. That's what you look like.
I definitely feel I couldn't find my hat. I'm standing here, my hair, it's greasy. My face looks like, as I told you, expired yogurt. It's I'm doing good now. I'm winning.
You look great. I
Oh
like the
God.
shirt. Actually, I love the shirt. I love the dodgeball shirt.
Yeah. This is what I always tell people. I mean, everyone in life, has a mistake. I could be yours. Sign up for the Patreon, please. Yeah. So we have that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your, you've kind of went through your season there. And what were the lures last year that were like, what really stood out for you?
Yeah, so the ones, I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything that's like super out of the ordinary. I tried to pick, I picked a topwater, a bucktail, and a rubber bait, which really covers a lot of what I do. I'm not a huge jerkbait fisherman or glider fisherman. A little bit of crankbait stuff, but the one I had the most fun fishing last year, and I 100% credit you to this, Greg.
Yay!
Yeah, 1,000%. Because I ran into you. We generally run into each other on Lake of the Woods here and there, and I always make sure to stop and talk to Greg because you never know what's going to come out of your mouth. And I don't enjoyable.
Either.
It's enjoyable, so I always make a effort to stop no matter what, no matter how good they're biting or if they're not biting, and I just need someone to vent to.
Hey, vent to me. I love it.
I feel like we do a good job of venting, but CBJ, this isn't a new lure by any means, but this, I stopped and talked to you. We were in where the heck were we? We
were at in front of the house that had the old church bell in it.
Yes.
In near Schoolhouse Point.
Yes, near Schoolhouse Point. And Greg, who is it? Your customer? Is it
Talbert?
Talbert, right?
Talbert.
The guy you hit the rock with. Yes. Okay, so it seems like every year when I stop and talk to you, he's in your boat.
Me and Talbert fish a lot.
He's great. I love that dude. He's awesome. But he was like had a CBJ strapped on, and you're like, this bait has been the deal. He's like, I've got 6 other ones in the boat, but the one he has on is just catching. And I had been catching a couple fish on top water, but the water was still a little cold, I thought, for something quite that big. And so to see you throwing that and you were having confidence in that, I was like, all right, well, whatever. So we actually ran back down to Morrison because we just went up there for the day. Went back down by my house, and I think I strapped on a CBJ that night, and I think I caught 2 fish on it, and I didn't take it off like the next 3 weeks. It was just fun. I mean, topwater fishing's as fun as it gets, and it's something I don't do a lot. I'm such a bucktail and rubber guy that and the topwater thing isn't a huge confidence bait for me. I mean, it's probably number 3 down my list, but it was just super fun. But I think the one thing we can all talk about is obviously the extended split rings here, or the daisy chaining of the split rings to get the hook to click. For me, was a big deal. I don't know if that's what you guys had going on or not.
Yeah, no, I don't really run them anymore without having that. I'm sure I probably should at times, but it's just a confidence thing. I like hearing that noise there, and with the Cannonball Junior and that big hook, you can really get a good tick out of it like that. Now with like the your deal on what I'm mumbling, I don't know why. When you get a fish to come up to the boat on a topwater, okay, say that, are you take it under, or do you let the fish tell you, or do you try to keep it up, or you just
this is something we talk a lot about in our membership, as well as because that's such an awkward situation. There's so many, people say you have to take it under, you have to keep it on top. And how I go about it is I keep the lure on top if the fish is right on it, or if the fish is like in kind of a neutral mode, or I feel like I can convert that fish as it's coming in. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I feel good about this one, or there's hope at least, right? Like you see those falls that are 20 feet behind
I love hope. Hope guy. Yes.
So I definitely start on top, just due to the fact that generally your lure's been coming in on a straight retrieve. If you see the fish coming, you can do the little S turn with your rod out there, but you don't get that nice hard 90-degree turn like you do in your figure eight. So I keep it on top to start. and see if I can get a reaction out of the fish. And if I don't get a positive reaction out of that first or second turn on top, then I go under the water. And then, just to show them something different. So we've had a straight retrieve on the top, we've had a figure eight on top, and now we're going to do a figure eight subsurface, just to try and give them a couple different options, but not throw everything. Don't show your hand before you have to.
Okay. So in the question, is Doug Wegner a top or a bottom? He's a top, folks. We just learned that. I love making him laugh. God, I love it. So you've also on the back of that dude, is it because you haven't fixed it yet?
100%. That's just from use.
Yeah. I'm the same way. No, I'm the same way. And and this is something that I didn't know, but I have experimented with. Do you ever experiment with different types of shrink tubing? Or do you just do the one? I like the ones that you find that has the adhesive in them. I like that too. And so the reason I didn't switch this, and I think you and we haven't talked about this, but I think we might be kind of on the same wavelength here, is I lose a ton of confidence when I replace this shrink tube, because it's going to hold that rear bead in a different position, and how that tail squeaks on it. Like, I don't want to do this shrink tube until I absolutely have to, if it's working. Sure. Yeah. No, I get it.
As soon as I do that, I lose total confidence, and I need to get a couple more bites on it to let me know it's working correctly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big fan of the adhesive, like the inside of the shrink tube as well. It's when you warm it up.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. And then one thing I started doing this last year too was using more clear shrink tube versus just straight black.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried the clear. I haven't really seen that. Where do you get that?
Just on Amazon. I forget. I buy it in 50-foot rolls. I should know the name of the stuff. But it's a 3-to-1 shrink. And they've got multiple different colors. It's an electrician's, shrink tube. Sure. They've got red and blue and whatever. But I did some clear stuff just for some bucktails, like some front hooks and rear hooks on bucktails. If you got a lure that doesn't have black in it, which most of our lures don't, let's be honest. But if you do have those, or maybe it looks a little bit more natural, or just something a little different. Again, this is in our heads. I'm sure the fish don't care.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I've not seen the clear stuff. That's neat. I'll have to look for some of that. That's a big thing. All right. Well, what else besides the topwater? Wait, I had some pictures here. You sent me pictures.
I did.
Which one are these? I think, is that a top? Oh, that's the
Ohio Muskie show. Which
yes.
Right. Yes, that is a topwater fish. It's a perfect
who are these
time of day.
Who are these children? These are, they have to be related because they look just alike. They look like they came from an Abercrombie ad. Who are these children?
So this is actually hilarious. So, would you know Lee and Tiffany Lukoski, like the Crush TV, the hunting couple?
Yes. These
are their children.
Oh, okay.
So, really good kids. This is Cameron and Reagan, and Lee and Tiff came up to hang out at the house for about 5 days. So we went out fishing, and this was a 50.5 or 50 3/4 incher out by my house that we caught right at dark. Just came up, and I didn't even see the fish. I just made my first turn on the top, and the fish came, when I looked at the footage, the fish actually came from underneath the boat and ate it, and it scared the crap out of everybody. And that's the biggest one the kids had ever seen. Cameron actually caught his first muskie, I think the day before.
Nice.
So he's loving it. But yeah, Cameron's 10 and Reagan is 8.
Nice. Well, they are. That's some good genetics right there, baby. Those kids are going to go somewhere with those smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike me, I look like a Campbell's soup kid that made bad choices.
Expired yogurt.
Expired, yeah. A Campbell's soup kid that just with an eating disorder. What about this?
I don't know if. That's a different one. That's a tube fish.
Okay.
We know what tubes.
Well, what about this one? No, that's a bucktail fish.
That's tube fish.
Damn it. Bucktail.
Fish. There we go.
That's topwater?
There's topwater fish.
Nice. What is that? What's the story on this guy?
Just early. So that last one we showed was right at dark. This one's a little earlier in the morning, probably 7:30, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sun's just starting to get up, so low light, and it was just on a big rock extension. This is in Sabaskong, and I call it the best spot in Sab. It's just a big giant extension that sticks out in the middle of the basin. It's a little bit deeper than I think what a lot of guys fish. But one thing if electronics, I think, have taught us anything is how far these fish are willing to come. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to throw, I have total confidence throwing a top water over 12 feet of water. That doesn't bother me one bit anymore.
No, well, that was like a dandy. Yeah,
I think that one was like just over 49 or something like that. It was a nice one.
No, good deal. What's the next? Let's see what other baits you got there.
So I guess we talked about the tube. So the tube, Red October tube. I don't think this is. I'm sure you and I both absolutely love tubes. I know.
Is that a Jeff Bogser?
This is a Jeff Bogser. So this is actually a Thorn custom color. This is a color I did with Jeff and with Thorn Brothers. This is a color I designed called Perfect Perch. So my biggest pet peeve in the muskie industry is that all of our perch colors are green, like lime green. Like perch are not lime. This is a perch. It is gold with black bars, and it has orange pec fins and an orange anal fin. This is a perch.
I caught 3 perch yesterday through the ice.
Wow!
And they were perfect perch.
They were
7-barred perch. We were looking for an 8-barred, but we didn't know that just because somebody told me that was rare. But they were 7 bars, and it was exhilarating.
And just to make our old school perch people happy, there are green fleck. There's some green fleck in here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to argue with me that perch have green on them, there's a little bit of green in here for you. But yeah, 10-inch Red October tube is awesome. The spring, summer, fall, it doesn't matter. There's always one of these things tied on the deck. Bladed I definitely prefer the bladed stuff. But I go both ways with them too. I think turnover and like when the fish are being really crabby, I think the naked ones catch a little bit better. They're a little bit more erratic and like they talk fish into it a little bit more.
You gotta stay on the non-bladed or grub-tailed ones. I put grub tails on the back of mine a lot too. Actually Jeff makes a grub.
Sure.
And that bigger grub that he makes works really well on the back of those, just to, slow the fall a little bit. But the thing that, and I've talked about tubes on here a lot and have fished them for forever. The thing about a tube is that when you pause, at the end of a pull of a tube versus the end of the pull of, a Medusa, a dog, they slow down. A tube doesn't. There's no drag. There's nothing back there to slow it down. So, the naked tubes you got to be on them a little bit more. You got to really stay in contact because I think, you just miss a lot of fish on them if you don't. But I do really love, and, without the blade naked, they have so much more action.
That's the thing.
Than they do with that blade. That blade, anything that causes drag is going to decrease side to side, up and down. It's going to decrease movement other ways. And if you're going to throw them in, the blade really helps though if you're going to throw them into structure because you can keep it up higher, you can control a little bit better. Yep. But I'm like you. If I'm fishing deeper structure, I don't like having the blade back there. I want it to be a little bit deeper. I want it to get down more and faster especially if I want to fish it faster. But no, what kind of what is that front hook? BKK?
Yep, BKK baby. I freaking love these things. It's a 5-aught. This is what they come with now, standard. But I buy a bunch of these and put them on a bunch of different lures. But they are we're so far behind in the hooks when it comes to like the bass world and the walleye world. We are knuckle dragging Neanderthals. And that's what musky fishermen are. That's what we are in general. But with our hooks, like, we are so far behind.
Oh, yeah. I've been using those. I like those, and I like the old Blood Run hooks, too. Those were really good. You can't get them anymore. They're hard to get. But the BKKs, I've switched a lot of my stuff out to that. Yep. And I like the 5, but I like the 4, too. I think the 4 is a little less girthy. And I think it's easier, it depends. Sometimes they're easier to penetrate than those bigger number 5s are. And then is that the mid-depth rig? What rig is that?
Yeah. So, it's a mid-depth 2-ounce head in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's one I like. But what's also cool about that is if you want to add weight to it, all you got to do is put a chaos weight or something like that on the front, and
Yeah.
you
Yep.
can make it heavier or lighter or whatever you want to do there.
Yep. Yeah, we like some of my rigs. I'll put like two bucktail beads and an egg sinker back here, and you'll get a little shifting and clicking and
Mm-hmm.
moving. Just inside the tube itself too. I mean, there's so many things you can do with tubes. There's such cool baits. They're so versatile. I mean, Mark's slogan is the best one out there. Like superior versatility is the deal. And it's cool to talk to you about them because I know you've been fishing them since like they came out.
I think I actually had some of the originals. My first fall fishing tubes, which I think was 04, maybe 05. You were 3 months old.
Yeah.
And I got I think I had the biggest I got a 55 on Mille Lacs in 04.
Wow.
I think, or maybe 05. I don't know. I was wearing wool pants. That's all I can really tell you about it. And it came off Banana Reef on the south shore of Mille Lacs, and it was on a white tube. And that was back when the rigs were terrible. I mean, they were very archaic.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much you had to, and I didn't like what was being made, so I made my own. And but no, I've caught tons of fish on tubes. That's probably my most confident bait.
For sure.
Up north is a tube. Now, in the spring and real dirty water, I don't throw them that much. But when it gets to, clear water, especially up north, weed bed, rocks, stuff like that, a tube is by far my most confident lure.
Yeah.
Because I just think we can catch fish on them in all different conditions.
For sure.
Especially with the different type of rigs. And, I did really well this year on shallow rigged ones. I caught a lot of fish on shallow tubes this year. And so I was pretty happy with that.
Those primarily? Do you fish those primarily naked or bladed? Bladed.
Yeah, I want to keep them up, or a grub. I really like a grub back there.
Grub, yeah.
That little extra flare and stuff. I like at the end of the pull, I like it to kind of slow a little bit, just for helping people detect strikes and hook sets and stuff. And I think that works really well. I like to throw them with an extra long rod, a 10-foot rod, so I can steer them, and I know how to make them, especially in shallow water. I can steer them around cabbage, steer them around, different type weeds and stuff. And they've been really, really, really nice. So, and what other colors? I mean, do you have any more colors that Thorns is doing, or?
Yeah. So I'm actually in the process of working with Mark on a new one right now. We were hoping to get it out for show season, but he had enough. His orders are just insane. I mean, we could argue this is the hottest bait muskie fishing right now, but I think hopefully for next year we'll have that released. But I love just the old school walleye ones, right? Just the gold body and the white tails are great. There's a silver one. I think it's called Black Diamond that Thorn Brothers sells. It's like a silver and a little purple and like smoke to it. I do really well on that one. More so in the falls when I throw that one, but the perfect perch. This one I throw all year long, and it works really well for me. I'm not a big white tube guy. I know everybody throws white tubes, like just straight white. I'm not a big straight white guy. I don't know why. I'm just not. I'm definitely more so. It's this, a walleye, or that smoke colored one.
Yeah, no, I get it. I throw white down south quite a bit, and have done really well on that. I agree. I'm probably the walleye, just that gold baby muskie, old school, no paint job pattern. I actually had Jeff on the podcast last week.
Oh, nice.
And we talked
about. This is the baby muskie blank. So this is baby muskie with perch over it. Yep.
Yeah, I have him make me one that I had him make it for me for going to Iowa because they have a lot of yellow bass in there. And I said, "Can you make me a yellow bass?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe." And he painted up what he thought yellow bass would be. It looked great, but it actually, it's funny. it looks just like a Lake of the Woods crappie. Exactly.
Oh yeah, like super gold and yellowy.
Yes,
yeah.
It is a Lake of the Woods crappie. And when I came back after the tournament there in Iowa, we did really well on that stupid yellow bass tube. And I guess because it looks like a crappie, or or maybe it was just moving in front of a fish that wanted to eat. There was that too.
Yeah,
but
color, we can have the color argument. I think that's the last factor that I kind of look into.
Sure.
I think profile presentation is more the deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The last, if you truly want to tune it in, I mean, color is a big deal, but it's the last part of the equation, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big. I think color matters, but I don't think it matters to the point of other things.
For sure.
And I think maybe when there's a ton of pressure, color might come into a little more of a factor. But when you're not dealing with a lot of pressure, it's not the biggest deal on that. But what else you got there? I know you had some bucktail stuff. You like? Wait, no, we're going to show a tube fish here. Is this tube? No,
that's the top water one.
No, hold on, right there.
That's bucktail fish.
Damn it! I'm really bad at this.
We're gonna talk about all of them. There's a tube fish.
All right,
a birch fish. Yeah,
nice. Where's this at?
That is on Lake of the Woods. That is a 51 or 50 and a half incher and a figure eight. Second turn of the 8. It's freaking awesome bite. Just absolutely destroyed it. Just a really beautiful fish, right? A little light period, probably like that 6:30, 7 o'clock time frame, which is honestly probably like that's my favorite window. Like I like the window like the hour before the sun hits the trees. It's kind of like my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the sun to still be up, but I want it to be as low in the sky as possible, but not behind the trees yet. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I do better in that window than like sun below the trees.
I look better. I like it when it's completely dark and people take my picture and they can't see me. I feel like nighttime is the right time.
Yeah,
for this face.
Yep.
So that's what I'm at. And then you have another tube. Is this a tuber? No,
there's a guy in a rain suit.
Guy in a rain suit. And okay, I know why I can't find it because I didn't pick it. That's why. So
it's my customer Jason. He's a tube man. I got him hooked on tubes like 3 years ago, and he comes in the boat and like first question, can I throw a tube? That's all he wants to throw.
That's his only. It won't download. Whatever. It's once you get guys going on them, and especially if they're trying them, if they've never fished them before, going back to their home water. If it's a water that hasn't seen a lot of them, it's pretty amazing. Because they'll and if they give it time, they'll definitely find out that it's something that they need to be throwing.
Yeah, he works it really interesting. We call it the Lombardi hop. He's not like it's not a sweep. It's more of like his rod isn't tucked up underneath his armpit really. It kind of just like runs down his forearm, and then his wrist it's all in the wrist, and he does this little. Like it looks so painful. I don't know how
I couldn't. My body. I'm past the age at which that would happen. That would be able to happen very long.
He gets freaking bites. Like they bite it. So the one thing I will say, he gets by far the most bites of anybody in my boat throwing a tube. But he does struggle a little bit with feeling his bites just because he's allowing so much slack in that line.
Yeah,
he's getting more of the bites and that bait's more freely working. He's definitely getting better at it. And even this fall, when he came up with fish, he was trying to keep more of a tight line, and he wasn't doing his same hop, and he wasn't getting his bites. I'm like, Jason, like, I don't care if you lose them, but like, we got to get the bite. That's what's got to happen first. Before you have an opportunity to lose them, you need to get the bite. So like,
sure,
I don't care if you miss some bites. Just you'll figure that out just with more experience and more time. And he's not green by any means, but he hasn't been doing it a super long time. I think he's taken it seriously for probably 5 years now. But he's growing and he's getting better. But yeah, how he works it is pretty interesting. But he gets bites, but it's all in the wrist, and it's this little Lombardi hop. He doesn't move the bait a lot. It's a short little hop, and they freaking love it.
Well, I mean, if you can find that, that's if you find that little sweet movement, it's pretty amazing what you can get into. Let's talk some bucktails here.
Yeah, I just grabbed a handful of ones out of the shed, but the one you know what the bait. So a lot of what this is, but
yep.
A lot of the bucktails I throw, and I think we talked about this just for a second too before we get on, but like it's just taking components or taking lures that are out there and then making them your own and just doing little things to them. There's so much similar to a tube. There's so much you can do with a bucktail and a shaft of wire and all the components that go into these things and what make them special and unique. But I just had a ton of fun and caught a bunch of really nice fish throwing, just stuff I made myself. Now this is obviously based off of a ghost tail here. Double little, I think this is an 8 and a 7 fluted Indianas. But what I love with the ghost tail, like the ties on these are just incredible. Like the perch bars that get built into this and all the different colors and the little bit of marabou in the very front there. They're just such a beautiful little bait. You got a little bell sinker on there for weight, and then rebuilding these because like when these come, obviously the front hook, there's a 45-degree bend on the eye of the hook, and it's just put on the wire. I do like to rebuild them and do the double split ring with a bead, but it's just such a nice tie, and there's the split in between the front piece and the rear piece. And deer hair. I mean, we've all just been so accustomed to throwing tinsel, and it works really, really well. But I definitely like some different, I'm a marabou guy too. I love marabou as well. And then, whatever, just little teaser blades and whatever you can make on the back and do all kinds of stuff. But I love just making my own stuff. This was one. There's a picture of Jessie with a nice one right at dark that I sent you. She caught that fish on this specific bait right here.
I think it's this one here. No, that's you.
That's Jess.
Yeah. Now the thing about ghost tails, I've always liked ghost tails. I've caught a lot of nice fish on ghost tails, but they definitely they run on the lighter side as far as weight goes, and adding weight and rebuild. And another thing too that I like, not all bucktails do this, but I like them tied on a coil so I can take them apart and rebuild them. Bucktails that are tied on a shaft are a little more difficult to deal with. But when they're tied on a coil, it makes life a lot easier to do that. So what was the story on this fish here?
So we'd been seeing this fish on side imaging on the edge of a weed bed, and we just couldn't get the thing to do anything. It wouldn't move, it wouldn't bite, it wouldn't show itself. But we knew where it was, and we just went back now I just talked about how I don't like first arc as much, but we went back right at, kind of first arc or last light here. And Jesse got this thing, just destroyed it way out on the cap, probably 5-6 turns with a reel handle and blew up on it way up and was right on the surface instantly. And it was just a really nice, beautiful Canadian muskie.
Sure. No, it's
cool fish. I was probably throwing a flap tail or something out of the back right at first dark there, some kind of top water, but shallow cabbage fish that we caught on this Frenchie or this ghost tail. I know when these guys went out that last show they did at the Minnesota show, whatever that was 2-3 years ago, I think I spent like $1,200 or $1,500 on ghost tail. It's just an absurd amount just to buy all the hair and buy all the ties because I'm not gonna make a tie that nice. I don't have the time to tie. My extra time gets put into editing, unfortunately. I wish I got to tie bucktails, and there's plenty of things I'd like to tie, but I just don't do it, so I just bought all the stuff, and now I've got those. I got a lifetime worth of ghost tails that I can cut apart and rebuild.
Sure. No, I got a bunch of them too.
Do whatever with. And yeah, I mean, there's just a handful of different bucktails throughout the season. And they say the weight thing with the ghost tail is big because like you say they do run light and definitely put a little bit more weight in the ghost tails. And then same thing, this is basically a 10-9 combo from Mayhem. But with a bigger, they come with 3/8, and this is a 1 ounce. This is a heavier weight. I do really like the sleeve under the clevis. I think that's a cool thing. And, the 10-9 it's a nice size. And we talked about hooks earlier, but I'm a big fan for bucktails of the VMC 9617s at O'Shaughnessy.
Okay.
I really like those hooks. I mean, anything, I can't stand any mustad hook that's out there. And I don't go to the point of where I take a brand new lure and cut the mustad off if it's a bucktail, because you got to redo this ring too. But if I'm building one from scratch, or if I got to cut a hook, I'm definitely putting on a 6/0 9617.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a nice hook. And then the front shrink tube, like we talked about before, this could be clear or black, but just not doing that so you don't get that big snarl, and your front hook is a big deal. And they're fun to play with. There's so many different things you can do with bucktails, and they're definitely my favorite lure to fish.
Sure.
And I just love build my own. There's a million different things you can do with them. And whenever I see Greg throws a little Gregg bucktail in my boat.
Yeah. You're like, here, and you're like, after I pull away, he's like, why the fuck did he do that? Look at this thing. It's a piece of shit.
Well, I love it. Like, I've been inspired by some of your little builds. There's,
I am inspiring Doug.
How big the brain is between those headphones.
I am inspiring Doug. I've been telling that to people for years. I will inspire and destroy. That's what I do. So how with your bucktails, let's talk real quick. How are you fishing them? I mean, I know straight retrieve, whatever, but are you a big speed guy, or do you like to fish them deeper at times? Kind of go through thought process.
Yeah, I would say it definitely depends on where I'm fishing. Time of year is a big deal. If I can, fishing fast is definitely my strength. I'm definitely a power fisherman. I like to burn. But when I can come back to a place like Green Bay, there's, very rarely do our fish want the blades cooking. That's a lot of like painfully slow, just enough to keep the blades going right above the cabbage tops. Those fish just get absolutely piss pounded by lures. And it seems like if you can put a lure a foot lower, if they have to travel a foot less up, which we talked about this with topwaters, but we're talking about Lake of the Woods pressure versus Green Bay pressure.
Sure.
A fish that's willing to come up, they're just a lot less willing, I feel like, to come up that far. And this is fishing a 5 or 8 foot cabbage bed, so it seems like there's a big deal. And especially one thing too that I pay attention to or talk to my customers with is like when we've got big waves, when we're fishing in 2-3 foot rollers, I want to make sure that bait gets kind of below the turbulence of that water that's moving. And try and explain to them that, hey, I don't want that bucktail riding way up high in these waves. I want you to get down below all that moving water and kind of down in that zone where these fish might feel more comfortable or don't have to travel as far for it.
Sure.
Is a big thing. So when it comes to Green Bay, I'm definitely more of a slow roll guy. And I can monitor kind of what my customers are doing with their baits. And if somebody's just burning it in, I can't get them to slow down, I just hand them a different rod. Just hand them a lower gear ratio reel. Here you go. Use this rod. Right. So like they do good for 2-3 casts, and then they start talking to their buddy or looking around or trying to not fall in the freaking lake. And all of a sudden they're back to doing whatever they're doing, and they're moving too fast. So, and vice versa too. If I've got people, and I schedule my customers, my guide trips, depending on like who I have. And like in the spring, when we're like the spring for us, our fish love eating bucktails, but they have to be moved so freaking slow, like single bladed stuff, super slow, way down in the column. And I'll purposely book older people in the spring, guys that don't want to reel as fast. And also it helps them out because we're not dealing with a great lake and the waves, and we're in a tiny little river, and there's not much more in a 6-foot chop or a 6-inch chop ever. But just playing to my customers' strengths or what I think they're more capable of doing or what their tendencies are.
Sure. No, I mean, that's smart. It's what I always do, and it makes it more enjoyable for everybody. It's not fun when you're, trying to, and especially, it's not fun for you or for them either to do stuff that is going to be, if it's a physical, you just can't do. So I totally get that. The bucktail stuff, it's funny because like the double 10 stuff when that first came out, it was more of a slow roll thing. And I like to fish them a bunch of different ways. It doesn't matter. It's again based on the structure. If I'm fishing rocks, I definitely want to keep it up higher because I hate, hitting rocks with my boat, although I'm really good at it.
You're good at it.
I am. I love it. I love it. But no, that's cool. Do you ever throw spinner baits? You ever do spinner baits?
Yeah. Blue water. I'm a big fan of blue water spinner baits for sure.
Yeah. They make a nice one. Are they the double single, or are you throwing trebles on there?
Trebles for sure.
Trebles.
Yep. Yeah. If I'm going to throw a single, Lydio makes them with the singles, but generally, if I'm going to throw a single, it's going to be a ace bait.
Yeah. I did good last year on the lippy baits. It's guy Mike Kreger out of the Flatlanders chapter there. It's very similar.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
same wire, and it's got the tinsel on it. That's what we caught in the PMT in the championship. That's what we caught all our fish on.
Oh, nice.
They are, and I've done really good up, and their group when they come up always does well on those up here too. And I've gotten to where I've gotten back into throwing spinner baits some where it's more for, if we're fishing really thick cabbage or fishing kind of that pig dick, spindly weed, spaghetti weed, they come through there a little bit better than a traditional bucktail. Who are you talking to? Is your cat?
My wife just keeps poking her head around and wants to see Greg.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's
she never wants to come on these, so this means a lot, Greg.
Nice,
and she wants to see what aging looks like in a very bad way. This is what
makes you look good, though.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it's dark. That's what people don't realize. It's completely dark. Yeah, but no, Jess, how was your year last year?
Honestly, it was pretty bad. And I didn't fish as much as I wanted to, but I had a very humbling season, and I made up for it the very last day. Doug and I went out the last day I fished in October, and I caught 3 fish in one spot in about 45 minutes, and that made my whole season. So
nice.
And I just went to Virginia.
You just what?
I went to Virginia 5 days ago.
Yeah, for New
Year's. Virginia is for lovers. What did you do down there?
I didn't go.
Yeah, I took my other lover, Gabby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What were you doing down there?
Muskie fishing with, I went with Sam Scott.
Okay, how was that?
It was honestly a really cool experience. Doug's heard me talk about it a ton now, but I had a really good time. I'm not much like of a river fisherman, so that was a unique experience, but it was a lot more action than I was expecting. We did a lot of glide baits and stuff, which I'm not very good at or don't use a lot. So I, screwed up a bunch of hook sets and all of that kind of stuff, but we caught 9 fish in 2 days. So that was pretty sweet.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Now, were you on the James or the new?
We were on the new
river. All right. Yeah. I've never fished it. I've been by it. I know guys that have gone down there and fished it, and it looks beautiful. I mean, it looks like a super, super cool place. I've fished in North Carolina on a couple of the rivers there in the winter. But right now I'm staring at snow and cold, and I'll be looking down an ice hole here in about 3 hours. So that'll be my extent.
Yeah, that's why I went to Virginia, because I'm pretty sick of that shit, to be honest.
Yes. How was the weather? Was it warm down there? Did you have nice weather?
It was decent. I'd say it was probably upper 40s. The first day we went out was actually really windy. We had gusts up to 40, so it was the river was ripping pretty good, the wind. But what a great experience. And I can now say that I've caught more muskies than Doug this year, so that's really all I care about.
And you know what? There you have it, folks.
Yeah.
That's all we needed to know.
Yes.
Hey, I'm really glad you got to go down there. It's cool. That's kind of some of the area that I'm not from, Kentucky, Virginia. It's not that far. There's only a few teeth between us. We're good, but I'm glad you got to go down and experience that.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, not a lot of opportunity to fish in the wintertime, so I'll definitely be making a habit out of that going south. I've always wanted to do that, so I just got to. Well, I don't even know if I want to convince Doug to do it, because it's really fun fishing.
I'll go fish with Greg.
Yeah,
we'll go to a cave or somewhere.
I can disappoint people all over the world.
You guys will get along good then.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going back to work.
All right, have fun. Oh
yeah, she won't shut up about that Virginia trip. She had a riot.
Wow, that's cool, because that is a cool thing. But Doug, let's wrap her up here, buddy. How can what have you got going on? What do you want to promote here?
So the biggest thing what I've been working on every day since I got done fishing is we're launching a new website here, nextgenmuskies.com. It's going to be very similar to our, your Patreon or, paid subscription for information and a really in-depth look at a bunch of different products or scenarios, lures. I mean, everything and anything about it. I think, no matter if you guys are, on Gregg's Patreon or if you're on my paid platform with our Next Gen Muskies, there's a ton of amazing information in there for you guys. And for the cost that it is versus what you're getting out of it, compared to all the other lures and stupid stuff that we buy, I think there's so much value in that. And I think Gregg and I both put a bunch of time and effort into that. It's a way to support us, but we're really supporting you guys even more, I would say. There's so much good information. At least I know on our side of things, and I'm sure Gregg's is the same. I mean, the amount of knowledge that Gregg has from fishing all these different places across the country and everywhere is just incredible. And I think Gregg's, and in my opinion, one of the most well-rounded muskie anglers there is, if not the most.
I'm blushing. Look, if you guys
should be.
I am blushing.
Serious. Like you've fished everywhere.
I know. It's just because I'm antsy. I'm fucking
I'm the same. Like I mean, I'm not to that point, but like I can't fish Green Bay. I can't fish Lake of the Woods every day. I go nuts.
Oh, I get it. It does. That is the thing with me is I do enjoy it, but you do get a little tired. And sometimes that's why you got to go. And for me, what can settle me down is just going to a different area. And that's what's kind of nice about Lake of the Woods. You can go, all right, you know what? I haven't been east in a week and a half. I'm just going to go down there, reset, and fish that. There's fish all over. We just got to, figure it out. So that's like me this spring. I'm going to do some time in Ohio and fish some of the Ohio lakes I've been hearing so much about. I've got guys that are interested in going and so we're going to go play down there. And see what happens. Are you going to be at the Chicago show coming up here?
I will. Yep, we're going to have a booth for the Next Gen Muskies platform at the Chicago show. I'll be right next to Thorne Brothers, where I've always been the last 10 years. So if you guys need help on rods or reels or tackle that stuff, you can come find me, and we'll be right next to the Thorne guys, so we can get everybody taken care of if they got any questions on that. But we're going to be doing sign-ups and helping people get signed up for the new platform, and then we're going to be doing a guide trip giveaway.
Nice. With
anybody who signs up is going to get entered into a draw. So looking forward to the Chicago show. I put a bunch of effort and work into this stuff and want to try and get this thing off the ground and rolling.
Yeah, that sounds like a winner, man. All right. Well, hey, Doug, thanks for coming on here. And guys, last but not least, I'll be at I'll be at a bunch of shows, but I'll be at the Chicago show, the Ohio show, and blah 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 blah. And if you guys are at the shows, make sure you stop by Thorne Brothers booth, like Doug said. Pick up some rods. I've been fishing their rods forever. I know Doug has too. And check out their deals. If you can't make the show, check out their website at thornbros.com. And guys, the Gill fishing products, I've been using that. And I really like their rain suits and stuff. They seem to, if it rains, I don't get wet. I guess that's the best thing I could say, except for in the crotch when I ripped that out one day, and then then it does get wet. But check them out at Gill Fishing Products. You can check that, and then also if you ever want to do a trip or something, and we'll never know what I got open and when I got time, but check out battleofthebeast.com and holler at me. So, Doug, it was great talking to you, and just hold on the line here for me, okay?
Sounds good.